If you've been scrolling through endless grill reviews, watching side-by-side videos, and still feel stuck between "I need more burners" and "I don't want a massive footprint," you're not alone. The decision feels bigger than picking a color because a grill lives in the backyard, shows up at family gatherings, and often decides whether your burgers are a hit or a miss. That uncertainty is why I'm breaking down the Weber Genesis S435 in a way that goes beyond the headline specs, so you can tell whether it truly fits your cooking rhythm or if you'd be better off with something smaller. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what the Genesis line tries to solve. Most mid-range gas grills promise more heat but don't explain how that translates to everyday cooking. With 4 primary burners and a dedicated side burner, the S435 gives you the ability to run a 2-zone sear area while simultaneously keeping a pot of beans simmering on the side. In a typical Saturday backyard, that means you can lock in a steak's crust on the front burners, push a slab of ribs to the back for a slower cook, and keep a skillet of corn sautéing on the side burner all without shuffling plates or waiting for a burner to cool down. That kind of flexibility is the core value proposition, not just the fact that there are 4 burners. Now, who really benefits from that layout? If you regularly feed a crew of 6 or more, love experimenting with different proteins at once, or host a weekly game day grill session, the extra cooking surface and side burner become practical tools rather than just marketing fluff. The extra-large side table is another subtle win. It doubles as a prep station, a place to hold raw veggies while the meat cooks, or a spot for a cutting board and seasonings. For people who like to keep their grill area tidy, the built-in storage locker means you can stow spatulas, tongs, and a grill brush right under the cooking surface, reducing the need for a separate toolbox that often gets lost in the garage. On the flip side, if your patio is the size of a coffee table, or you only fire up the grill once a month for a quick burger, the Genesis S435 might feel like overkill. The unit's footprint is roughly the size of a small dining table, and while the stainless steel finish looks sleek, it also demands a bit more clearance to open the lid fully without bumping into railings or patio furniture. The weight of the grill, combined with the need to connect a 20-pound propane tank, makes moving it a weekend project in itself. So, if you're after a portable option you can roll to a friend's house, this isn't the model to grab. Let's dig into the practical strengths that actually show up when you're grilling. The PureBlu burners are designed to provide a consistent flame across the entire cooking area. In practice, that means you won't end up with a hot spot on one side of the grill while the other side stays lukewarm, a common frustration when trying to get an even sear on a slab of salmon. The Sear Zone feature focuses that high heat onto a specific section, perfect for a quick crust on a steak or a caramelized finish on pork chops. When paired with the side burner, you can keep a sauce simmering without worrying about it boiling over onto the main grill surface, which often leads to flare-ups. Grease management is another area where the Genesis tries to earn points. The newer system routes excess drippings into a removable tray, making cleanup less of a chore than scraping a greasy griddle after a day of cooking. In real life, I've found that after a long session of burgers and hot dogs, the tray empties cleanly with just a quick rinse, and there's far less residue left on the burners themselves. That translates into less time scrubbing and more time enjoying the company around the grill. Of course, no grill is perfect, and there are trade-offs worth mentioning. The side burner, while handy, doesn't reach the same temperature ceiling as the main burners. If you try to sear a thin piece of fish on it, you'll notice a slower heat buildup, which can lead to sticking if you're not careful. The large side table, although convenient, isn't adjustable. It sits at a fixed height that may feel low if you're taller or if you're using a deep stockpot on the side burner. Lastly, the stainless steel exterior, while resistant to rust, will show fingerprints and minor scratches more readily than a coated finish. If you're particular about aesthetics and plan to leave the grill out year-round, you might need to give it a quick wipe down after each use to keep it looking showroom.